Good evening and welcome to Crafting by Moonlight. This evening I am redoing the card, the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star card. Last week I did this card, which turned out really great, but then I got to thinking about how dark it is. It's kind of too dark for a little girl, especially on her first birthday. So I have decided that we are going to stick to the theme colors, which are baby pink and gold. So this is an invitation that I got off of Pinterest, and this is kind of where the theme came from. I thought it was adorable. And so my sister-in-law had made the invitations up just like this. I unfortunately cannot show you the invitation because it has my niece's picture on it, but what I can do is say that was how the theme is going. And so we're going to remake the card a little bit faster because I have most of it already done. This is going to be mostly kind of instructing without actually doing. So for those of you that are new to crafting, please leave your comments and then I would be more than happy to address them, and I might possibly do another video soon to show you how I attached ribbon and stuff like that. So let's get started. So this is the card that I have made now. As you can see, it's the baby pink cardstock, and we did the same thing as we did last time. The only difference is instead of taking two standard size cards, this is a standard size card, and then this is this was a standard size card, that I cut down 1/4 of an inch and then glued. As you can see, there's a little bit of a border there. This time I actually took a full sheet, 8 by 11.5 or 8 by 11 regular cardstock in the baby pink, and then what I did was took a standard card and laid it on the inside, kind of marked off where it was, and it was exactly 1/2 an inch on top and bottom in between the spacing. So I decided I liked that, and so what I done was I took the sides and cut them down 1/2 an inch. So I now have 1/2 inch all the way around. So this is a full sheet, so you can see how it looks. So as you can see, once I get it lined up, what I did was trim the sides and took off 1/2 inch. So now I have my card. Now what I did for the sides is I actually overlapped them and went ahead and glued them, overlapped here, and I actually overlapped and gave it a little bit of a height so that way I can trim off the excess without trying to run over, because part of the problem with this is, as you can see, it's starting to unravel. One of the things that we're going to do is we're actually going to put little rhinestones, so the excess glue will actually hit those edges and kind of cover them up real nicely. So I'm going to lay this flat. And as you can see, I've already started writing on it and coloring on it and decorating it. And then also, as you can see, down here is the little star. So in the last one, let me show you real quick, I did the star shooting. So as you can see, there's a bunch of tiny little dinky dot stars, and then there's the star in the middle. And what's so special about these stars is I'm actually going to lay them side by side, and we are going to turn off the light. So as you can see, these stars, both of them, especially on the pink one, is a little bit brighter because I had it in the light before I brought it out. So as you can see, from way back here down here, it is nice and dark, and it shines in the light, or it glows in the dark. So the thing about that star is that you can do this out of anything. I happen to have a bunch of tiny little glow-in-the-dark stars that I got from those cheap plastic stars that you get. You can get them at Walmart. You can usually find them in this random weird section, but they're a bunch of big, huge stars that you know, people usually mount them on walls or up on the ceilings and stuff like that. And then they have the itty bitty ones. And I had those left over. So as a fun little thing, I decided that cards would be great for them. Also, you can get some inexpensive nail polish and paint one on or stencil one on with some glow-in-the-dark paint, however you want to do it. But what makes it so special is that what I'm doing is I'm taking the theme Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and down at the bottom I wrote, "Oh, how 1 in a million you are." So as you can see, so that way it's kind of one of those things like letting her know that even out of all these million stars, which I haven't put any white stars on yet, she's special. And as you can see, this one is actually sitting, and I need to fill that in. It's sitting on a little swing, so it's just kind of like a child. So then also what I've done is taken this eyelet ribbon and I've ran it to kind of make a border. So it's kind of like my hill border, like I did in the last one. So that's it for now. We are at 6 minutes, which is probably my shortest video ever. Actually, no, we are not done yet. I'm sorry. So I'm going to quickly glue on the rhinestones. So we're using hot glue for them, and I actually use hot glue for the rickrack, what I call rickrack. One of the things you want to remember is you don't have to use hot glue. So if you have a tape runner, which mine is actually out of tape at the moment, so as you can see I did put a lot and I pressed down so that the glue kind of overflows, and that's okay. It gives it a little bit of a homemade feel. You don't want it to be too, if you're a perfectionist like normally I am, but in this case it's 9:58, almost 10 o'clock, and I've got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So tonight I'm not as much of a perfectionist as I usually am. And also, once again, I kind of like the homemade feel. Too many times people go out and get really nice cards from Hallmark, but to me they're a little too much, especially when you're paying $6 for the card and what you're really paying for is just the ribbon alone. I would like to quickly shout out Deidre. I'm letting you know I'm burning my fingers. If you happen to know Deidre and you're watching this, if you ask her about it, she will tell you a really funny story. So anyways, I have now glued on my rhinestones, and I've gotten hot glue everywhere. Ribbons are really easy to use. Use a tape runner. That's what I like to use. In this case, like I said, I didn't have my tape runner working, so I used hot glue, and it works just fine. I try not to use Elmer's glue. You can also use a Mod Podge would be okay. So that's it for this tutorial, I believe. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. Like and subscribe. And then also, since I have you here right before I let you go, just to run up the clock a little bit, I want to tell you guys, if you see something in the store, even if it's another card, and you really like it, but you don't want to pay the $6.99 for the card, or even if it's something like today, I was in Target and saw a really cute wine bag, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, you know, this would be great if I was going somewhere and wanted to bring over a bottle of wine for someone, or even a bottle of Montanelli's. The problem with it is that it's a $10 bag, and for me, I actually happen to drink $15 wine. So I'm not going to turn around and bring a bottle of $15 wine and then turn around and bring a $10 bag. So I thought to myself, you know, it was made out of there was a burlap one, but there was also, it's kind of like a flour sack type of fabric, kind of like a cotton fabric, rough cotton. And I was thinking to myself, you know, that would be a really great idea, especially with the holidays coming up. So if you see something in the stores that you like, but you know, it's really expensive, instead, take a picture of it. You can send it to me. You can post it here in the channel, or you can even hit me up on Facebook and post it in my Facebook and say, hey Alice, I'd really love if you could do a tutorial on how to make this. And I'd be more than happy to do that for you, just so you can have some really nice homemade gifts for the holidays. And with Halloween coming up, we've got a few surprises going on. So I'm going to finish this card. When it's done, I'll take pictures as usual and use them as the thumbnail for the video. And if you have any extra questions, just leave them in the comments below. I do check that daily, so I can always get back to you about that. And then if you need to, I can always do another tutorial, more in depth, step by step. Just happen to be that I have tried doing this 4 or 5 times now. So the card is practically almost done every time. So my name is Alice. This is Crafting by Moonlight. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And as always, keep crafting.